Hey, welcome back to another tutorial. This time I'm going to go over the slot children events node. It's very useful. It was added quite recently and I want to show it off. So let's get started. I'll talk about what it does as we go. So in SmoothAV, I'm going to start setting something up and I'll talk about what we're doing as we go. So slot children events will output an impulse when a slot is added or removed from an object that you specify. So example here is like when you put a item on a bookshelf, you could get an event about what that item is, or when you put something into a box, you could find out what that is. It's very useful for all sorts of other sort of things, even things like UI and everything. We're going to use it today just to play around with some cubes. You know me and cubes. So to start with here, I'm going to go ahead and inspect this cube that I've just created. And I'm going to go and create a parent object here. This is going to be called box parent, and that's going to be the parent that we're listening to events from. So once that's created, I'm going to need my LogiX tip. I'm going to go ahead and grab box parent, put it to one side, and I've got a nice slot reference here. Then we're going to go into the node browser, and we're going to go into slots. And it's right at the bottom there, slot children events. Grab that and put it next to the slot interface. I'm going to drag this and put it into the top because that's the slot that we want the events for. And then we're pretty much done. As an option, you can specify a user here, which will mean that the events only come out of that user's sort of execution chain. There is more information on that on a great video by Anonymous, which I'll link below. I plan to make my own description of it in the future, but Anonymous is quite good for now. For now, I'm just going to leave that blank. It is optional, but you might want to be explicit and put in the host user or the user that the item is parented to or stuff like that. We'll just leave it blank for now. So you'll see here that I can now pull out a impulse for this top one and this bottom one. And so the top one here is when a child is added, and the bottom one here is when a child is removed. So now when I duplicate this box, you'll see we get an event at the top because we've added another box to the hierarchy here. To make this a bit clearer, I'm going to add an axis aligner to the top box. I'll link my axis aligner tutorial in the video description. I love axis aligners, so let's get started with that. Axis aligner, auto add children, and we'll change that to Z based on basically how I'm rotated. And then we'll make the list mid. Check out the tutorial in axis aligner for more information about that. This is just going to show you the boxes rather than them being on top of each other. So here I'm going to add another box, and another one, and another one, and another one. And there you go. You'll see we get events every time one's added. If I go ahead and delete one, see here that we get an event on the bottom node here, which is on deleted. Added to that is the child output here. This will output the slot which is deleted or added. And it's only valid for one update cycle or one frame, whatever you like. It's the same sort of thing. And that means that you need to use it or save it. Using it is quite easy, depending on the circumstances, but for this example, we're going to save it. I don't advise saving it all the time if you can get away with it. Never save these things if you can get away with it. Just do what you need to do. But we're going to go ahead and save it. So for that, we'll need a variable slot. Put that there, and then we'll need a write node as well. So what we're going to do here is say when a child is added or removed, we're going to write to this slot variable the slot that was added or removed. And then I'm going to go ahead and get a get slot name. Or get slot name, there it is. And then we'll get the slot name of the variable stored, the slot stored in the variable even. There we go. So now we're going to go ahead and add another box. And you'll see box comes out here. Add another box, and trust me, that has updated to the new box. It's just they're all named box right now. If I were to rename this box that we're going to duplicate, and I'm going to call it potato instead, you'll see that we've got one potato in the hierarchy here. If I go ahead and duplicate that, you'll see that there are now two potatoes in the hierarchy, and this slot variable here refers to this potato, not the previous potato. There we go. I'm now going to go ahead and delete one of these, and you'll see an interesting thing happen. Which is this goes to null. And the reason that this goes to null is because when I delete objects from this stack using the delete trash can at the top here, they're deleted from the world completely, which means that the variable can't refer to them, and neither can this, because they no longer exist. Like, they're gone. They've been banished to the void, so you can't see them anymore. If I wanted to change that, I could, instead of deleting it using the trash can, I could change its parent. So in this case, I'm going to change potato so that it's parented under the world root. I can do that with the parent under world root button. That will parent potato under the world root, and then if I can find it, should be grabbable. The problem is it's kind of stuck in those hierarchies. So we're going to go ahead and find potato in the world root. There it is. And now that I've got it out of the axis aligner, I should be able to grab it again. Yeah, there we go. So that's potato, and you'll see here that potato has been saved into this slot here. So that's the slot children events node with adding and removing. I'm going to go ahead and stop there. There is more that you can do with this node, but I just want to give a simple overview of it. You could do things like change the name of it, fire a dynamic impulse on the slot when it's added, move it, update it, rotate it, etc. When it's added to a hierarchy. All sorts of useful things there. If you have any more questions on this node, please let me know. Otherwise, I will see you next time. Thank you very much for watching.